Boom. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Beez, and I'm here at the C&D studio, about to give you guys a tour and a little bit of insight as to who I am, where I'm from, and what I do as a designer, painter, body artist, all that good stuff. So yeah, follow me. I'm from Ohio. I'm 26. Moved out here in 2016 to further my education. I started at the Art Institute and was there for 3 years. On my third year, they had shut down and I had to pivot. I moved to Chatham, where I finished with a bachelor's in media arts with a concentration in graphic design. After graduating, I chose to freelance for a little bit, get some experience in the world, if you will. But I realized that it was very tough to do that, 100%. It could be very inconsistent, especially being a fresh artist and fresh out of college. So I ended up getting a gig with Dick's Sporting Goods, and I was the graphic designer for a while. I handled all of their social media, YouTube, Reels, in-feed posts, stories, you name it, which was really good because not only did I gain a ton of experience and elevated skill-wise, I was able to really figure out what I wanted to do in this life. It was definitely one of those things where I had it written down, had it checked off, and when I got there, it was like, all right, this is it, and I realized there was more, and there was like this fire in me that was like, nah, this is cool, but this isn't for you. For those of you trying to figure out what to do or where to go, just always go with your heart and trust your intuition.
Trying to make it out of struggle, I'm back up on the grind, I'ma show my people love. It's a cold ass world, nigga gotta stay warm, nigga gotta bundle up. I'm trying to make it out the bottom, a nigga climbing out the mud.
Scared situation got me feeling impatient. I'm so focused on my vision, feel like niggas hating. Official in these streets, I got it off the hard way. Consistent on the pace, learning from my mistakes. Lost up in the system, snitching route I never take. Running from 12, stacking money, feed the safe. This a marathon, I ain't sprinting in a race. I'm steady dropping jewels, put it in their face. Ain't what they used to, they don't feel me. Ain't talking drill kill, they don't hear me.
Trying to make it out of struggle, I'm back up on the grind, I'ma show my people love. It's a cold ass world, nigga gotta stay warm, nigga gotta bundle up. I'm trying to make it out the bottom, a nigga climbing out the mud. If that's bottom, then you got him, go get you a plate. We do this shit every day until we make a way. Hurry up and go and get it, I ain't never late. Bitch, wake up, go and get it, go get you some pay. Bitch, I'm really him, get the fuck up out my way. Move up out my space unless you talking about some cake. Ooh, nah, nah, all a nigga need a rise. Ooh, nah, nah, money on my fucking mind. Ooh, nah, nah, DJ run the fucker back. Ooh, nah, nah, all a nigga need a rise. Ooh, nah, nah, money on trying to make it out of struggle, I'm back up on the grind, I'ma show my people love. It's a cold ass world, nigga gotta stay warm, nigga gotta bundle up. I'm trying to make it out the bottom, I'ma show my people love. A nigga climbing out the mud. Ooh, nah, nah, all a nigga need a rise. Ooh, nah, nah, money on my fucking mind. Ooh, nah, nah, DJ run the fucker back.
Literally within that first week, going back to freelance, I got a piece of the Wiz, I got a piece of Antonio Brown, I got invited to an NFL players pool party, and I got to do a live performance there. Sold that piece there. I took one of my pieces to Mac Miller's memorial, which gained a ton of attraction and attention, and that, solely wasn't for me. It was, to dedicate and honor Mac Miller. But, with doing that, it definitely helped, on my end, it helped expand, a little more on the social media side and whatever. But, yeah, so this whole week, literally every day was something magical and special. And the last day, which was Sunday, I got invited and featured at what was called the I Am Pittsburgh Festival, and I did a live performance there where I got to meet an artist that I very much value and respect and listen to. He goes by the name of Day Cools, and it was definitely one of those like it was just like a crazy moment because as I'm about to approach him, I was like, "Yo, you're Dave Cools," and he's like, "You're Beez," and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like he knows me, so it was definitely one of those. Ah, it's just a magical moment, like more or less. It was honestly wild. So he ended up asking me to perform with him on stage, and that was honestly crazy because he performed one of my favorite songs, which was called "Stuck." And as he's coming to a close with his performance, he looks at me and shakes me up. And in that moment, it was powerful. It was like, wow, like I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing, and like we're killing it. And I had in the back of my mind, like, man, I hope somebody caught this. I hope somebody captured this moment. Sure enough, somebody was they were behind the audience. And if you've ever been to Grandview Park, you know like how it like essentially overlooks the city, and there's a stage right there in the middle. So just imagine, this audience with the stage, these performers, and then the city in the background, and we're right there. It was like literally right at that moment. We're just like dapping each other up. It was crazy. So I say all this to say, I went with my gut and my intuition, and it has not steered me wrong, at all in my life, really. And it just really showed that following your heart and following what you know and what is beyond what you can see, because it's really unknowing. It was very rewarding, and it was life changing to take that chance on myself rather than stay in this safety net and security and assurance. Essentially, like I had health care and benefits and consistent pay. So I left all that to go into the unknown, and I haven't looked back since. So for anybody watching this, walk in your purpose, walk in your light, and trust yourself, trust the universe, trust in God, and put all that you can into it, because it's going to go full circle, and you will be rewarded. But you gotta think it, you gotta believe it, and you gotta act on it. You can't just fantasize about it. A dream is only a dream until it becomes reality. So make it a reality, essentially. So yeah, that was right after DSG, and ever since I've just been hitting the ground running. I've been making as many power moves as possible. Heavily connecting with people that I feel are on that same frequency as I am, and really just being the catalyst in the community to help people be inspired and motivate them to walk in their purpose and to expand on their talents and abilities. That's why I opened up the studio. Originally, it was just something I wanted to do, obviously for myself. I've always wanted to have a bigger space to create in. You hear those stories, or even just the song started from the bottom. Like I legit started from the bottom in my basement and worked my way up to this platform, and I manifested it. I literally spoke on that. Like I remember one of my people, I forget who had asked. They were like, "What do you want to do? Like, what is it like you're trying to do? Like, what are your goals?" And one of them was opening a studio, and I firmly believed I was going to do that, and I just believed in it, and it happened. It literally, I didn't even have to go seeking it. It sought me, and after viewing the place and going over the specs and everything, it's like, yeah, this is it. This is me. This is what I'm going to do. And I completely flipped everything and switched it to what you see today. And not only just having it for myself, but I open my doors to any creator or artist that is looking to expand, gain some knowledge, or have a platform to perform. Even we built a stage over in the corner. It's not a big stage, but it's still a stage, and I'd like to be some kind of help or contribute to someone's journey when they're on it, whether it was the beginning, middle, or end. That's my goal, is to help in any way I can. So the studio space is called Creators Next Door. Um, you know I don't, some of you guys might know where that is stemming from, the kids next door, but we're the creators next door, and keeping that essence of that cartoon, just kids trying to save the world from the evil adults. Essentially, we're still those kids, but instead of um, trying to save the world, it's really helping everybody, and trying to help others from the evils that are out there in the world, and try to help them protect themselves as much as possible as well, because there's a lot of dark out there, and I'm a firm believer of being a beacon. We all have a choice to either be the beacon or the darkness, and you also can't be a beacon without not knowing the darkness. There's that yin and yang side of things. So to then appreciate the light, you have to appreciate the dark, and vice versa. So I was definitely that kid in class, scribbling on the desks and drawing on folders and whatnot, not really paying attention, to then transitioning into an athlete. So I was an athlete for a while, and it took away a lot of time from my artistry until I revisited it back. It was my junior year. Dabbled in photography, and then my senior year come around, I did an intro to design along with an independent art study. So the independent art study was essentially like a college course where I could do whatever I wanted as long as I submitted a project that was, high quality, if you will. So it was, and I've definitely mentioned this story, but I'm always gonna, pay homage and give my respects and appreciation to Miss Golsky. I hope you see this one day. I don't know how you will, or maybe I'll send you this video. But Miss Golsky, shout out to you, because she sat me down one day after class and just gave it to me straight. Like, she was very frank. She said, "B, you need to get your shit together." And I'm looking at her like, I know she did not just tell me I need to get my shit together. Like, straight up, just like that. Like, what? And I'm thinking she was just trying to, like, get on me, or just, push me to just not be lazy, or whatever the case. Because I was just going through the motions, going through the class like it was nothing. But with that said, with me just doing like the bare minimum, I was still producing great work, which at the time I was just like, right? But she saw it. She saw past that, and she, really put in perspective that I can be an artist. And she told me just flat out, like, you need to apply to some of these art schools and see who is going to accept you, and see where you could get in, because you're an artist, and you need to expand on that. It's a gift, and you're not taking it serious enough. So, I kind of just let that linger a little bit, and my next project came up, and I just found out that my next body of work would be featured in an art show. So I'm like, all right. Like, it was literally within this moment. I can recall, like, when I fell back in love with it, because I felt like I've always had a love for it, but to truly appreciate it, understand it, and to go with it, like, was in this moment. I was doing this chalk pastel portrait, and I remember as I first laid the chalk down to the paper, I was like, I'm gonna show them what I'm about. Like, literally, I remember having that thought, like, I'm gonna show them what I'm capable of. And I just started gliding. I freehand everything, and from start to finish, I just used the chalk and my fingers just to smooth everything out and get all that those gradients in there. And I did this portrait of this singer and rapper. His name is Rory, which, if you know, he's not like a mainstream artist, but he's definitely a super talented and very unique individual. So at that time, I was heavily influenced by him and his music. So I did this portrait of him, and I did a series of portraits. I think I did Pac. I did one of my brother. And I think there was another one. Or anyway, so I submit them into the show. And long story short, I ended up getting second in the whole county, and I got silver keys for them. So that put all the way in perspective, like, hey, like, you can do this, and this is meant for you. So continue to do it. So that's when I then started to apply to art schools, and I ended up actually I got accepted first at the Art Institute of Colorado, which being from Ohio, like that's just a whole different world. I've never even been west, so I remember getting the acceptance letter and just like holding it tight, like I made it type, like it was like wow, because I'm the first one to graduate high school, first one, I'm the firstborn in my family, first for everybody, like first nephew, first grandson, blah blah blah, first to leave, and first to graduate. So it was definitely one of those just like crazy moments where it's like wow, I'm chosen. I've always felt like I was, but it was definitely solidifying that thought of like, no, I'm going to do great things. So I planned to go out there, and then I don't know. I think within like a week of like finalizing my decision, I had gotten a call from Pittsburgh, and they were like, we've been trying to get in contact with you for a while now. We would like for you to come tour the school. And I had no idea what Pittsburgh looked like, and again, being from Ohio, if you know, the Browns and Steeler rivalry, Pittsburgh and Ohio, we hate each other, right? So I had this crazy perception of what Pittsburgh was even going to look like. I thought it was country. I thought it was going to be filled with just like farms, and I don't even know. Like, I don't even want to get into all that. But anyway, I had this crazy perspective on it. And when I got out here, I felt the magic. Like, I literally felt it. Like, there was that knowing again. It popped up. It was like, this is where you're supposed to be at. And I remember standing on the up at the overlook in Mount Washington, and just looking at the city. Like, my school's down there. Like, this is now going to be my playground, And my goal moving out here was to conquer and to solidify my name, cement it in stone, and really become a household name. Like, when you think of anything art related, you think of Beez, and that's all the way down from design to paintings, body art, you name it. Like, I can really do it all, and I say that very humbly, because I've definitely worked my ass off to even say that. Like, I've done so much freelance and so many different projects of different levels and styles, that I adapted to and executed very well. So I tried to find that one thing that I was going to spend my time on and really be known for. But really, what it boils down to, and in all honesty, I get bored with things. Like, I never found myself staying in one realm too long. If I'm doing something digitally, I can only do that for so long. And I'm like, I want to get my hands, all painted up, and I want to feel it. I want to feel that canvas. I want to feel the brush on canvas. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I want to do some shoes, or I want to do a logo. So I'm all over the place, but I can say proudly that I can do it all. And that's what I like to be known for, is like someone that can adapt, that can change, and pivot in any direction and execute to the highest degree possible. So my grandfather, he definitely has always been like a very powerful influence in my life, along with my father. My grandfather, especially because he was an artist back in school, and athlete as well. He dabbled in both, but never really expanded or pursued either of those. So he passed on as much, knowledge and perspective and insight as he could, and ultimately, it helped me further along my career just by sticking with it, just with his help. And same with my dad. He's a firm believer in me and what I'm capable of. Obviously, him being my father, he's raised me to be this man that you see before you. So anything I chose to do, he was right there with me, and he's never left, and he's always believed in me. Like, at one point I told him I wanted to be a rapper, and he's like, all right, bet, like, let's do it. Like, let's like, we'll start freestyling right now. He's just one of them dudes, man. Like, you have someone like him in your corner, you'll never lose. So so yeah, my father, my grandfather, my mother as well. Kind of crazy though. my mother never really like. She gonna laugh when she sees this. She in the beginning didn't really believe I was gonna make a career out of art. Like she very subtly said, "Should have a plan B," and that was my, what I took from that was like, "Oh, this ain't gonna work." Like have a backup plan, but no, my backup plan is this. My plan B is plan A. I'm gonna keep doing it till I get it right. But creatively, I would say there's a couple like people that I look up to, that are really doing this. First one being John Bourne. It's a brother of mine, and I highly value him and respect him and like his journey. Like he's dope as hell. So yeah, John Bourne, John Moody. I don't know him personally, but Buddy's a freaking beast. And physically beast as well. Like he definitely crushed that. What is it called? The stigma of like the starving artist. Like Buddy is far from starving. He's swole as hell, and his artwork just as swole. um, John Moody, John Bourne. There's this guy by the name of Vex, VEXX. He's dope as hell. His content is like the way he puts his videos together are raw as hell. Like he's definitely one of those artists that can paint and draw on anything and make it look dope. And this guy named Marco. He's a really big influencer on YouTube, and he does a lot of celebrity work. I think he started out with just custom shoes, and you know, evolved into doing just custom anything. Like I seen him hydro dip a car just because. Yeah, it was crazy. He got this huge ass trash can, like trash bin or whatever, and literally had a crane that lifted up this little. I think it was like this little Honda, or maybe it was like a slug bug. I don't know, but it was this little car, and he had a bunch of people spraying the spray paint in the water, and they dipped this thing, pulled it out. Like this dude really hydro dipped the car. Like so. Anyway, he definitely breaks the all barriers, and super creative dude. And there are many more. I just I can't think off top right now. But creatively, those are I'd say my top four right now. Overall, just life is what I draw inspiration from. Just my experiences with people, through and music and movies, and honestly, just again, the main thing, people. Like I'm a portrait artist as well. So that's something I kind of specialize in. So it just the energies that people bring, and the way my style is. Like I started out with doing realism, dabbled in like a few different mediums to see what was like my best fit essentially. But I ended up just figuring out that sometimes the best thing as an artist to do is just to go with what you're feeling. So I stopped doing what I was seeing, stopped trying to make it so much of what I was seeing, and make it more and geared towards more what I was feeling. So my work has a lot of color in it, and that's to show what's not on the outside but mainly on the inside. We all possess a lot of energy and a lot of ability in different ways. So I want my main goal is to take something ordinary and make it extraordinary through color. And extracting all that energy in a very vibrant, very vivid, and well put together way. So, yeah, life in general, just that's where I draw a lot of my inspiration from. Just my experiences, my connections, and yeah, what I'm also digesting, on a whether it's through music or, like I said, movies or whatever. I'm a movie fiend for real. Like that there's bookworms. I love movies. So And I think that's where like my critical art director persona comes in at times, because I've just seen so many, and I'm always looking at like camera shots and how they pan different transitions in and whatnot. So yeah, some days I'll create as soon as I get up. Some days I'm creating while I'm going to bed. Like I'm literally in my head visualizing that next piece and what I want to do. Like this tiger piece I've been working on. I had originally wanted to just paint the frame of it because it's a mirror. Where the tiger eyes are, it was a mirror. Or it is a mirror. So I just wanted to paint the frame, and I didn't like it, and I just kind of looked at it for a while, and just overall orientation, I'm like, what would fit well in there? And eyes popped up. So then, like later that night, I'm literally laying in bed and I'm just visualizing like just different sets of eyes just going through my mind, just like a carousel, like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, just constant, just thinking on it, and then boom, tiger eyes. It just popped up. I'm like, yep, that's what I'm doing. So it changes all the time. I don't know. Like that is a good one. Basquiat, for example, he started out, solo, broke, lived through poverty, just really doing it for the sake of just like his purpose. He was doing it because he had to. He knew he had to, and he was resilient. He definitely was somebody that he didn't care if he was making money or not. He was gonna do it no matter what. And the there's a story, and I don't know how accurate this is, but there was this story of how he met um, Andy Warhol, and Warhol was essentially the one that put him on. So Basquiat was walking down the street, sees Andy at a restaurant through the window. Basquiat walks right into the restaurant, walks straight to his table, and introduces himself. Tells him, "I'm an artist. This is what I do." Um, obviously I wasn't there, so I can't tell you like what the whole conversation was, but essentially that led to Andy, investigating and getting in contact with him, ends up connecting him with his people, and now gives him essentially a place to live and a place to work out of. And whoever Andy's assistant was, or who was managing him or helping him, they had mentioned that Basquiat did not leave the studio. Like he lived in the studio, and he was creating nonstop. And like that's how I am. Like I'm one of those people that like if I have a million projects. I could be doing so many things, but like I tend to do it until I can't no more. Until I'm like literally aching. Um, but I like there's that knowing like this is going to pay off, and I know one day like it's going to get that appreciation, and it's going to be in places that I can't even fathom at the moment. But I just know I have to do this for my soul. So I can relate heavy to Basquiat in many ways. He was a hustler. He was an innovator. He was a genius. And he didn't care. That's something I'm as an artist, like we're all sensitive to our work. Even if if people don't admit it, we are sensitive because we put so much into it, and there's so much of us within those pieces that people don't realize. Even if it's just scribbling on a canvas, like there's still a part of that person on that canvas. Um, so, being resilient and dedicated to the craft is definitely something I admired from him, and take and apply to my life as well. Honestly, and like I talk about him a lot, but John Bourne, man, like that is he's such an incredible artist. He's the reason why I got into body art. Um, we were just talking about it. Like we started off with just doing it in the basement, and now I'm getting booked for shows. Now models are paying me to do it. It stemmed from him, but he's painting on cars. He does murals for celebrities. You know, that is the kind of level I'm, you know, aiming for. And you know, he's well established. He's now out in LA doing his thing, and that's where I'd like to be one day. You know, his style and his overall execution of his work and his, you know, composition is it's incredible. Not to mention it's not a still canvas. You know, like at the end of the day, I don't care how still you could stand, you're still breathing, so there's still movement. Um, so it's a challenge and very much an illusion, you know, depending on the body type. But it's very fun and it's very satisfying. The most satisfying part is after, right? You know, this whole time is being spent on just like focus and detail and application. But then after the fact, it's like the reaction for me. That's what does it. Like that's what really gets me. It's like, oh my god, like, you know, because for the most part, I'm not showing them what they're looking like throughout this process, you know, and they're trusting that I'm, you know, you're presenting yourself in the most vulnerable state, essentially, like you're nude, right? With, you know, and if we've never worked together, essentially a stranger, right? You're trusting that I'm going to do what I said I was going to do and execute it, you know, in a great manner, I guess, you know, for lack of better terms. But so yeah, the overall just reaction is what I love, and I've yet, you know, knocking on wood, I've yet to have a model unsatisfied with my work or with, you know, the overall shoot. It is an experience, you know, not only for them but for, you know, myself as well. Um, it's definitely different. You know, in the beginning, I shied away from showing people because I have a lot of family that follows me. I have, you know, younger siblings, and you know, majority of them being, you know, female. So, you know, for a while I was in my head and not fully confident in releasing that kind of work. But my main goal and priority was to showcase it in the best light possible. Um, I'm taking something beautiful and adding to it. You know, essentially, it's beauty on beauty. My art with a woman's physique, you know, and everything that comes with it. So conforming with it and not, and even with, like models with tattoos. Like I don't like to cover their tattoos. I like to work with their tattoos because essentially that's a part of them. So once I kind of just realized and decided to get over that fear and like present it, people were loving it. Like people in my family loving it. I had my grandma. I remember the first video I showed her, and you know I'm Puerto Rican, so she, you know, very very traditional Hispanic woman. She goes, "Ay, Brandon, oh my God, she naked." I was like, "Yeah, grandma, she naked." She goes, "Ay, Brandon." Oh my god, and she just geeking like, but loved it, you know. So once I got that and you know realized, all right, my elders, they love it, they're here for it. I don't care who else isn't, you know. Like that was it for me because my family means everything to me, you know, and their opinions very much matter and you know are valued. So I don't want to do anything that's going to reflect in a poor manner, you know, or this essentially you know, shame the family, or you know what I mean. Like I don't want to. I'm gonna do what I do, but at the same time, my family is always gonna be in my mind. Like how can I make them proud? How is this gonna make them happy? You know. So yeah, I got a few things actually. I got a couple brands I'm helping establish, which will be, you know, their logos, and then trickling down to website development. Um, I'll be painting a logo on a pizza oven, which is pretty cool. I've never done that before. Um, and then another client of mine, he wants his logo painted on the side of his truck, which I painted originally his logo on his trailer for his lawn care service. So I painted his logo on both sides and then just went crazy with color and made it like this really cool abstract, you know, piece essentially. And originally he wasn't really feeling it, but I'm like, nah, bro, like trust me, like let me do my thing on it. This is gonna bring you more business, more head turns and attraction, and separate you from essentially all the other lawn care services. You know, whether they're better or not, like people are gonna look at you first solely based off of your trailer and how I end up doing it. So he trusted me. I did my thing, and you know, ever since he's been getting great reviews, and it was actually featured on the news not too long ago. So that was pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I got a few design projects going on. I have a new body of work I'll be showcasing. Um, yeah, yes, I can. It's very exciting. It's honestly an event like no other. This is literally like the all-star game for artists right now. I'm dumb excited. Like I literally go to sleep thinking about Art Basel, and I wake up thinking about Art Basel. I'm literally constantly thinking of like how I'm going to do these pieces, how I'm going to showcase them, the people I'm going to interact with, the sales I'm going to make, and the potential opportunities I will have while being out there. Because I was featured last year for the first time, and again, shout out John Bourne, because I originally was just going to drive down there and just set up shop like along the beach and just showcase my work, which is a horrible idea. Um, it literally was not going to happen that way. Within that same day of trying to like plan all this out, I get a message from him, and he told me he wanted to feature me in his show, and I was like, "Thank you, God!" Like it was honestly crazy. Um, so I you know get on the phone with him. We start talking specs, and next thing you know, I'm out there, and it went better than I could ever anticipate. I not only was featured in the show, I got to paint. I got to paint alongside him. We ended up being featured on this on a yacht. It was called Yacht Basil, and we had our own section in the back. He's painting his models, I'm painting mine, and we're just going at it. This is not a competition. Like I believe everybody is great in their own right, and everybody has their own style. And at the end of the day, art is subjective. So you know. What I do and what he does, completely different, but we're both doing it to the best of our abilities, and we did phenomenal work. So that alone, I've never been on a yacht, never even thought I'd be on a yacht, and it was magical. So did that with him, and all of our events were super dope. Every day was a new adventure. Waking up, it was like you just don't know what's going to happen, but something great is going to happen. So it was phenomenal. One of the pieces, which was crazy, one of the days I was out there, actually it was for Yacht Basil. It was right after. I'm walking with my models who were painted, and they didn't have anything on besides a jacket, just just in case if like we got any static from people. But I thought it'd be a good idea to just walk the strip and just to walk with them, side by side, and I had a videographer with me, to capture all of it. So as we're walking, this guy stops me. He's like, "Yo, man, like, can your models take some pictures on my slingshot?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because I was already eyeballing the slingshot and thinking the same thing. So for him to ask me, it was like, "Yeah, of course, 100%." So I'm chopping it up with him, and I cannot make this up. Like this is like how it's just so beautiful how things happen and just the universe working like in my favor essentially. Because prior to us being like in the strip, there was a fight on the yacht, and it kind of messed up the ending of our event. So I wasn't trying to dwell on that. I wanted to still make the best of that, make the best of having my models painted, and us being together, and try to make something shake. So that's where that thought of going to, actually we're at the beach on South Beach. That's where all that came up. So boom, I'm chopping it up, not fast forwarding. I'm chopping it up with his name is Scotty. Chopping it with Scotty. and he just started asking me some questions that kind of gave me like, some, raised some eyebrows, and I'm thinking like, why is this guy asking me this? He asked me, have you been drinking, or like, how far do you live from here? Can you drive? Do you have a license? Yes, no, yes, no. Like I'm answering. I'm like, why are you asking me this, bro? He's like, why don't you take the slingshot? And I'm like, oh no, nah, bro. Like I can't. Like I already got so much money invested in, into being out here. I really can't spend no more. He's like, nah, man, take it. Like for the night. Like I'm giving it to you. I'm like, I remember just looking at this dude like, who are you? Like, why me? Like, and I kid you not, he's like, it's God, bro. He's like, I literally felt like something special was going to happen. Like God told me to come to this spot and be patient. Like something great is going to happen. He said he literally just paid for the parking for because he owns an exotic car rental service. So he has slingshots, he has Mercedes, G wagons, Lambos, all these crazy cars, and he had the slingshots for the night. He said he had just paid for the parking, and within like 5 minutes, I walked around the corner. He said that was you were my sign. You were that confirmation from God. He's like, that's how I knew. Like you're it. Like I have to, like I feel like I have to do this because you're special. You're a unique individual. And I want to bless you with this opportunity. I want you to ride in style. I want you to enjoy Miami to the fullest. Like it was so special I could cry. Like it was that one of those moments, it was kind of crazy. Yeah, he not only let me keep it for the night, but he let me keep it the whole day after. And he's like, I want you to pull up in style. So yeah, big shout out to Upscale Motorsports out in Miami. My guy Scotty, he'll get you right. So my brother, he is still to this day my biggest inspiration. It's actually a portrait of him. This was a memorial piece that I did for him this past year. He had passed in January on the 18th back in 2014. And I was 16 at the time. He was 12. And it was honestly the worst experience I've ever gone through in my life thus far. And I know there's going to be more, but that at an early age, that fucked me up. As I think that it would mess anybody up, But after his passing, it really gave more purpose to my life. Made me realize how precious life really is. Like, and I know people say that so freely, but like I don't think they really understand it unless you've really gone through, not necessarily the same thing, but you've gone through some stuff. So it definitely helped. It helped me, and it also like hurt me in so many ways. So anything I do and everything I do is for him and for my family. Because I eventually want to get to that point where I'm the one that they come to. I'm the one that they can lean on, and not only just financially, but just emotionally, and because my family, like I wasn't raised by just my parents. Like where I grew up, like I was in a lot of households. People lived with us. We lived with people. I've been to so many different schools and experienced so much at an early age. It kind of like forced me to grow up fast, and which is why like I am where I am today as well. But after he passed, it really put in perspective that everybody has a time clock, and you don't know when yours is up. You don't know when someone else is up. So you have to cherish the people you have, and cherish the ones that are giving you their time and their energy. It's really special, because if you really think about it, like for us to even be alive is like a 1 in a billion chance. If you really think about it, like on a scientific level, like the egg traveling to the, or the sperm traveling to the egg, there's a 1 in a billion chance that you're the one to make it out. And here we are, breathing, functioning, without even having to like think twice. Like our whole bodies are functioning right now, heart beating, blood flowing, joints moving, eyes blinking, like all of that stuff. So like it's really, um, really special, and I appreciate just being alive, to be able to breathe. You know, to even think about like there's so many people right now, like their time is up. So not to get all sappy and shift the energy totally. I just want y'all to cherish your families, tap in with your families, and make time for your families and loved ones, and don't take nothing for granted, and be more conscious of what you're saying to people, and really think about how that's going to affect them, because you don't know what people are going through. You could say something to somebody at the wrong time, and that'd be just enough for them to reach their tipping point. So treat everybody with love and with respect, and don't put nothing past anybody. Take what they say seriously. Shit is hard. I've gone through my own battles, and fight with depression and demons and all that. But what has helped me was my family and God, really. So, yeah. Well, something I'd like for y'all to keep in mind and to really be weary on is your mental health. It's vital. I've gone through my own struggles and battles with many demons, and have gone through a crazy journey. But one of the things I try to always keep in mind is to protect my mind. We sometimes get so wrapped up in here, we allow that to dictate what happens out here. So it's vital for y'all to not only do good on the outside, but do good on the inside. And what matters most is your health, not only just physically, but mentally and spiritually. So whether it's having an outlet through art or music or photography or whatever the case may be, utilize that in your dark times. Another thing is training and working out. A lot of people overlook it or shy away from it because it's hard, and it really is. And the results aren't instant. And in this day and age, everybody wants that instant gratification, but when it comes to your body, that takes time, and it takes a lot of dedication. But I will say it's very rewarding. It's not just something I do to for others to view. It's a lifestyle for me, and it's what keeps my mental sane and balanced. So really focus on what you're allowing yourself to digest and consume. What we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're speaking. You have to be very conscious of what you're digesting. Everything from what you're seeing, what you're listening to. It plays a part, and affects our energy. So be conscious of it. Sometimes it's easy to get wrapped up in what's happening on the outside and everything, and what people are doing, and what's going on over here, or who has this, or what you don't have. But focus on what you do have and what you're capable of. Because I'm living proof. I literally came from this small town, and not much to my name, really. No family coming out here, and I just stuck to my guns and followed my heart, and it's taken me places where I didn't think I'd ever be at. So um, you know protect yourself, protect your energy, protect your loved ones, and protect your goals, because that's all we really got, because once we're gone, and you don't want to live this life with regret or wishing you could have done something better, or chose a different route, and you can, it's just a matter of taking those steps towards it and making it happen and believing that it's going to happen and it will pay off one day. I went from, not not really having anything to, making something out of nothing. And I'm a firm believer, if you believe, you can achieve. So just go out and go do it. Don't be afraid to try and fail. A lot of people are afraid of failing, but with failure comes learning and success. It doesn't always mean you're going to get that trophy or you're going to get a ribbon or you're going to get that praise that you wanted, but there are learning lessons within that, failure. And I forget who had said it, but essentially, you got an L, take another L. Essentially, it's a dub. That's a win. You learn from those experiences. So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to try other things and keep trying. Until you get it right. Till you feel like, what, this is it. Like, this is what I love. This is what I am meant to do. I've tried everything, and it's gotten to this point, and I'm still trying new things. It's vital, honestly, because it's one of those things where I don't know about y'all, but for me, like, if I'm not creating, I go through withdrawals. Like, I feel like I'm just not me. I get agitated. I don't want to talk to nobody. It messes up my flow, So it doesn't necessarily have to be making a masterpiece every time or recording a full song or painting a full picture. It's really, just doing, getting 1% better every day. Whether it's like journaling or writing out goals or sketching out something, like, and again, it doesn't have to be a physical either, creating in the mind, like creating this overall, picture that I want to do eventually, or, creating that next big thing or that performance I'm going to be featured, to do. So, it's vital for y'all to keep creating, not necessarily create every day, but, create in some way, shape, or form, because you evolve and you grow, doing so. And that's really the purpose of life, is evolution. To expand, to grow, to love, to share, to give back, and it goes full circle. We're here to live, and then we die, but it doesn't have to be just that. We're here to inspire, to create, expand, to learn, and give back. You got to pay homage, in some way, shape, or form. You can't just take. The universe feels that too. If you're only here to take, it's not going to give you what you want. Or if you get it, it's going to be temporary. And it's going to come very quick and leave very quick. So definitely paying it in full, or paying it forward, as my dad would say. It's essential. So, yeah. No, that's enough for today.